Hey everybody, so my first quote for chapter 3 is, "Someone who presumes to tell us what's good for us is likely to cause us to feel defensive and not supported." So, I apologize for the dogs. The what the author means by this is you can't just assume that just because you think it's right that the other person is going to feel the same way, or that you're doing a good thing when you're really not taking into consideration the other person's feelings. For me, this is huge, because I take everything very personal. So it's hard for me to be critiqued. Not saying it's not bad to be critiqued. It really isn't. But it's one of those things that sometimes someone can come off a lot different than I think they were thinking that they were portraying themselves as. I mean, they're suggesting, well, you should do this, instead of doing it this way, or, whatever type thing. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just sometimes you have to watch how you say things. It's kind of like, the author talks about, don't say you, say I. Suggest rather than state. Don't try to control somebody else's actions. So my second quote is, "Nonverbal leakage cues reveal how you really feel or think about a topic or problem." So in this one, the author is saying that you're nonverbal, so your body language, your facial expressions, everything you do comes out even if you don't want it to. You can try. I mean, there are professionals out there maybe who are really good at it, but I just don't think it's possible. I feel, if you're uncomfortable in a situation, you're going to show it. You're going to show it in your facial expression. You'll show it in your body language. Because you'll become tense, and when you're nervous, you show that. You try not to. It's one of those things. Just speaking in front of a big crowd, a big group, or anything. I know when I started teaching, it was very nerve-wracking, and I probably showed it. After a while, though, I know I became more relaxed. It happens to everybody, but it does leak out, and you do see it. Whether or not you think you do, it's almost one of those where you need someone to watch you so they can tell you, you did this. A really good friend would be helpful, because then it's like you're going to trust them to tell you, the honest truth, and not, "Oh yeah, no, you did fine." That's not good. So for chapter 4, I chose, "Responding thoughtfully with a follow-up question or nodding our heads lets others know that we're actively listening to them." So what the author is saying here is, you don't want to just listen and not have any interaction. It's kind of like previous chapters have said, communications isn't when the message is delivered, it's when the message is interpreted, and there's meaning behind it. So, if someone's talking and you're not understanding, or they're going too fast, or you need clarification, or you just want to ask other questions, it's good to be more interactive. Of course, unless they're up on stage or something and they're speaking, that's a little different. You're not just going to interrupt, unless it's question and answer time. But most people, I think, are really afraid, in class too. They're really afraid that they're going to get something wrong, so they're not willing to raise their hand or interject when, they are confused, or they want to say something, but they feel that someone's going to judge them, that they're being judged. That's a big one. That's a hard thing to overcome. I'm guilty of that myself, not judging others, but feel like I'm being judged a lot. So I'm a very self-conscious person. So it's difficult. Most people wouldn't really see it. It's one of those things. I probably have a lot of nonverbal when it comes to that kind of stuff. But yeah, I am very, very self-conscious. So the second quote I have is, "Although listening requires hearing, not all hearing is listening. You heard the person, but you were not listening to the person." Everybody does this. You can't tell me you don't do this. Someone's talking, they're saying, so someone's talking, and supposedly you're listening, but you're not getting anything they're saying because your mind is 100 miles away, or you're working on something else. All of us do this. There are times you just have so many other things on your mind, or you're really stressed, or it it happens, you know. School's been really stressful for me. I have a lot going on at home. I have a lot with everything else. So you know, it's hard for me at times to concentrate when someone's talking, you know. So it's like my husband and I work with him at times. He works from home and he'll want to talk to me about work, and I want to focus on school. So my mind is on school, and he's trying to ask me a question pertaining to, you know, work stuff, and it's just like in and out, just not catching what he says. So I have to have him repeat, and I know it gets irritating after a while when you have to have somebody repeat what they say, but sometimes it's hard. That's where, you know, getting rid of distractions, you know, relaxing helps. I know that's one of the things I have to remember, like, okay, I need to take my head out of this and bring it into this conversation, so that way I'm focused on what's being said, so that way I'm actively listening, so I can actively respond and, you know, provide feedback that's needed, rather than just, I have no idea what you just said, but okay. Just kind of nod and agree. Those aren't ever, it happens, you know. I feel, you know, at times I feel guilty, but I do try to acknowledge the fact that, no, I wasn't listening, or, you know, I was in the middle of something and you wanted to talk. Okay, hang on, let me finish what I'm doing, and I'll come and I'll sit, so that way we can talk. So I'm focused on you rather than on everything else. So those are my 2 quotes. I'm going to put them up above this time in the discussion, so that way you guys can see them, see where they came from. I think it makes it a little easier for clarification and for looking it up in the book if need be. So good luck, everybody, and hope everybody's quotes are great. Bye.